Okay, here we go, guys. Welcome on board. We are live on YouTube right now because of some issues with the Facebook live streaming platform. First of all, hello, everybody. I'm Enrico, part of the Reply Challenges team. I'm changing my virtual background because I have a dedicated one. Yes, this one is cooler. And hello, everybody. Again, I'm not alone, of course. I have many mates together with me today. First of all, I'd like to say hello, girls first, to Eleonora from Avantage Reply. Hello, Eleonora. Can you hear us?
Hello, everybody. Happy to be here.
Hi there.
Yeah.
All right. Nice to meet you again. I like to continue the turn with Mr. Paolo Fabris with us again. Hello, Paolo.
Good afternoon, Enrico, everybody.
Hi there. Hi, everybody. We have, again, Davide from the Reply Challenges team. Ciao, Davide.
Hello, everyone.
Hi there. We have Edoardo Cazzullo from BG Saxo Platform. Hello, Edoardo.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, and last but not least, from Starting Finance Community, we are proud to have together with us Mr. Matteo Fatale. Hello, Matteo.
Hello, guys.
Hi there. Welcome, everybody. We are six with our fantastic virtual background. I know, guys, sorry. If you have some glitch or problem with the virtual background, I'm sorry about that. We can start with it, and then you can change it if you prefer to do it. First of all, I'd like to start with a recap of some numbers. Why not to involve Davide in order to give him the viability to give us some numbers about the first day of the challenge. Davide, mic to you. Please switch to, you are on mute right now, I guess.
Sorry.
No problem.
My fault.
That's the beautiful of being live.
I would like to start first with the total number of people participating in the challenge. You are more than 8,500. And I would like also to give you some data about what you did over the last day. The most interesting part is that there was a number of 52,000 trades, total trades. And when it comes to what our attendants have done, well, of them we can say almost 2/3 of them lost money on the first day, while 1/3 of them has gained some money on their positions. And when it comes to the most traded instruments and most traded assets, it's interesting to see stocks at the first place, followed by Forex and CFD. But when it comes to singular items, it is interesting to note that even if stocks is the most traded one, there are no singular stock in the most 10 traded singular items. So it means that you are diversifying a lot your portfolio, which can be maybe a good strategy over these, we can say, interesting days in order to try to minimize your loss. And let's see how this strategy keeps on over the next few days. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Davide, for the recap. Again, we are live on YouTube page due to some issues we experienced with the Facebook platform. It may happen. We are sorry about it. Anyhow, by using the link we are publishing on the Telegram channels and Facebook pages, you can see us on YouTube, Reply You channel that is working as well. We are live since 3 minutes right now for this investment challenge first update. Thank you everybody for following us right now. More than 40 people following us right now. You can interact with us both on Facebook and on the Telegram channel too. We are right now enabling the YouTube chat to give us some seconds to do it. So due to the numbers that Davide shared with us, we can say, wow, a lot of interactions on the platform. We are more than happy about that. I hope you too, guys, Eleonora, Paolo, Edoardo, those are great numbers, I would say. Many people interacting with us and playing and having fun together. Are you surprised by that?
Let's try to answer first. We are greatly surprised, yes, considering that the situation is not the easiest one, and there might be also due to the general position in the country. Problems are related to the just physical lines or connections issues, because what we have seen and what we're experimenting every day, that just a common phone call or Skype call can create problems nowadays due to the heavy traffic. There might be problems and delays in performing activities. This is by far surprising me. Actually really positively surprised. So very good numbers, and very happy that there are a lot of people out there that are trying to, let's say, take advantage of this unique experience, at least in the Italian environment, and thus learning something in a protected environment.
That's great. I would say that as you mentioned, of course, we are. I would say that we are leveraging on a demo platform regarding BG Saxo that you use for these simulation purposes. So it's clear to everybody, I would say, that it's not. I mean, BG Saxo has a story that is not related with the investment challenge. We're leveraging on this platform in order to play together, to have this learning experience, this competition. But of course, BG Saxo has his own story that is not related with investment challenge, at least at the beginning. So of course, if you are experiencing some kind of technical issue, again, write to challenges@reply.com. We'll do our best in order to answer to everybody. And of course, some aspects of the competition, as you see, are based on challenges.reply.com and not on BG Saxo platform because of that, because BG Saxo platform has another purpose as its own, of course. Okay, we already have mentioned the numbers, the great numbers we have made. So we are happy to see many players playing together with us right now. We published today. We have to mention this from the beginning. We published today the first ranking with these. I would say. Particular situation. We have a player that I mean, I don't want to smile about it, but anyhow, we have a different situation with the first player on top of the ranking right now that has a unique situation. We have investigated this situation, of course, together with Edoardo and the BG Saxo platform. What we can say right now is that a kind of backdoor, I would say, has been exposed. This particular user has used it in order to reset his own budget, and of course this is not fair. It's unfair at all, and we are right now evaluating what to do, including any possible issue about the any possible penalty that we can implement in the near future for this particular user. What we want to share with everybody, all the players, even if you are able to see this kind of backdoor, do not use it, because an immediate ban might happen. At least we can confirm it when the investigation will be ended. In general, this is online gaming, online competition. We are more than happy to see you playing a lot and doing your best in order to play. But of course, follow the rules, because this is the only way we can do in order to maintain a fair competition. And I want to remind a last thing, because before again moving to the challenges team, at the end of the game, once we will have these first online round, then we'll have, as you know, on April the 24th, was physical, but right now will be virtual. The virtual round with the best 100 players. Anyhow, at the end of this competition, the winning people, the ones who will get the prize, will have to prove their own behaviors during the whole game. So there will be a kind of write-ups document that the winners will have to produce, and thanks to that document, we'll be able to verify all the gaming mechanism and all the moves you have done during the game and the competition. So this is a suggestion to all of you: follow the rules, follow the mechanism of the competition, even if you may see that those are, not immediately effective. At the end, you will see that the best players will win, and that's the spirit of the competition at all. Going deep in these details, I would say, Paolo and Eleonora, we have so many questions related specifically to, I would say, to the input and the penalties. May I ask you, Paolo, to let's say recap a bit the sense of the inputs during the game and the competition, and the way the players have to react on that?
Yeah, of course. As you mentioned, Enrico, there were a lot of questions related to the way the inputs are to be processed by the single player. Actually, in the spirit of the open market environment, we didn't want to place a strong, I would say, control on the fact that each single input is followed literally by each player. As it happened, what we anticipated last week, as it happens in real life, if you're a treasurer or a company, you're not obliged, let's say, to strictly follow each specific let's say input you got from the market, from your company, from your suppliers, etc. But at the end of the day, you will be asked to answer the reason why your cash is short, or if you are unable to pay some duties, or if you are unable to fulfill your obligation. So the aim of this of the competition, the spirit of the challenge, is to somehow being able to take an advantage, for sure, to the loose, let's say, situation that is given to the players, and not obliging them to do whatever you need in order to perform and follow each input. Otherwise, the result would be, I would say, nearly the same for everybody. If everybody is going to edge in the same way, the same amount on the same situation, at the end of the challenge, we will find that everybody will be in a range of a few $1,000 probably. The point is that you can and you have to take advantage of the situation, but you need to follow what you're given in terms of inputs, so that at the end of the day, if you are in a real life situation and you are somehow asked to answer your boss for what you have done, to reply to what to your actions, you will be able to motivate the reason why now you have X instead of Y amount of cash. And
okay.
Hopefully this is going to be enough to pay you for your duties.
Yeah. That's the spirit, I would say, the brief that we revealed at the beginning of the challenge. And so that's another call to all the players. That's the spirit of an online competition. Do your best in order to follow the brief we have proposed you, and it's a kind of role-playing game, I would say, yeah, in which you have to behave in the spirit that we have shared with you. 86 players right now watching our live streaming live on YouTube. We are sorry, we have to move to another platform due to some issues with the Facebook platform. There were not our will, but that's it. We open the way to interact with us. So you can use the live chat just behind the YouTube video player in order to share with us your questions. We'll give you, of course, an answer during this live streaming till 6 o'clock. But we have to move faster because we have so many things to say, and I mean, not that much time. Okay, we have already seen the number of people playing for the latecomers, the people that have joined this live streaming. We have many people playing with us. Davide already shared with us the stats. Davide, do you want to repeat at least the highest numbers that we have?
Yeah, I could repeat them. We have more than 8,000 participants. And since the competition started, we have 52,000 trades. And when it comes to participants, two-thirds of them are losing money from the starting of the competition. One of them is gaining.
All right. That again, that was great numbers in term of participation, and please follow Reply You channels in order to get in touch with us, because of course we'll have other webinars, other ways to interact together with you during the next days. The next one will be on Thursday, if I'm right, but I deeply think so. And then next week we'll have others. I can see questions coming in the live chat we have on YouTube. I would like to give an highlight to the question shared right now by our friend Carlo, who is asking. I would say maybe Eleonora can answer. Hi there, I don't understand our penalties if we don't respect one or more input. Thank you. That's pretty much what Paolo has already shared, but maybe we can repeat. Wise to repeat it, I would say.
Yeah, the penalties, as already said and also written on our website, are of two kinds. One penalty is based on the number of trades, and the other one is based on the instruments that you trade. And these penalties will be applied at the global ranking. You don't see this penalty applied at the end of the day. And they are not strictly related to the trade, but are applied at the end. So if for any reason you don't want to follow that input, or you don't know how to react or whatever, no problem, because the penalties will be applied only at the end.
All right, I would say we answer. Again, guys, we want to repeat that for the best player accessing the final round, and then for the ones who will have the honor to receive the prize for their performance, they will have to write a document in order to specify which kind of moves and actions they have done during the whole game, on round including. And so again, please follow the inputs, because even if you don't see any kind of penalty during the game, at the end of the game, we will verify what you have done. And I want to repeat this, that any kind of strange movement, including the first position right now in the ranking, will be verified for all of you. So if you are even getting advantage of some kind of backdoors on the BG Saxo platform, watch out. There will be a ban for you, excluding you from the whole challenge. So don't leverage on any kind of backdoor you may notice in the BG Saxo platform, that again has been built for a different purpose, that is not, of course, the investment challenge promoted by Reply and Banca Generali. But in general, we are leveraging on this free platform in order to make a simulation, and we have to respect even some kind of different behavior that the platform has. Eduardo, do you want to say anything in addition to this?
Oh, well, not as Paolo said before, the lines during these days are very crowded, so it could happen some slow down of the platform, and whatever. If you if you're encountering some issues with the platform, our suggestion is to do simply log out and log in to understand if it's only an issue related to the web, or maybe if you want to, if you need to send a trade to market. I see also a question on YouTube related to the ordini section, order section, and why CFDs don't go live trading. If you want, I can show you what happened when you place a trade on CFD. Okay?
Why not? Yes, please.
Yeah. Okay. I hope everyone can see the platform. Okay, for example,
yes.
If you want, yeah, it's coming. Okay, right. If you want to trade on Italy 40, Italy 40, okay, I place a buy order. If I place a limit order, for sure, okay? It will not go live, it will not go in position till the execution, because now you can see the order is placed at the moment, okay? And I can see it into the orders, okay? If you want to move it into the position section, you need for sure to modify, okay? Or well, to cancel it and to do it at market if you want to be executed in live. I think, I hope it's clear to everyone. Okay, and now you can see now it into the position, okay?
Yes. All right, thank
Hope
you
it's
very
clear to
much.
everyone.
Yeah, thank you very much to Edoardo for sharing with us these answer. We are again submerged by questions, guys. I have to we have to find out a way to answer to all of you. Actually, we already have found one. I mean, on YouTube chat, the team, the Reply Challenges team, is answering to all the questions that might have already have been shared. We are trying to leverage on the time we have in order to give spotlight to the main concept and ideas and rules. And in a matter of minutes, we'll be together with Matteo Fatale of Starting Finance. We'll review the markets, the markets insight in order to give some kind of tips and tricks to all the players connected with us. Again, 150 people watching now the live streaming on Facebook. We are more than happy about that. We are sorry, we promised to start the streaming on Facebook, but due to some technical issues, we haven't done it. We were not able to do it. I like to give an answer to one of the questions that have been listed right now in the YouTube chat. I can share it with the one who wants to answer. Hi there, it's a question from Andres. Hi there, I didn't understand the cash outflows and inflows, and does the currency of each flow matter? Who wants to answer?
I'll try, Enrico.
No.
This is going to be one of the, let's say, kinds of events that will be showing up during the entire challenge. So I hope to make it clear, because there were different questions on this.
Please.
The expectation is that you're going to be able to pay or receive, depending if you're paying supplier or cashing in from a client, but the subject is exactly the same. And a certain amount of money in a certain specified date in the future. Somebody asked me, how can I cash in or pay if the challenge is already over? Doesn't matter. You are going to protect yourself against the movement of that specific payment you're going to perform or receive in the future by hedging your position against the specific currency. For example, if I have a payment of 10 million euros, $10 million in 2 months from now, the purpose of the event is to allow you to protect against the change in the euro-dollar exchange rate between now and the future. So at the end of the challenge, there will be a position of dollar against euro that will be different from the one of today. Of course, it will be still different from the one of the during the day of the payment, but who cares? That's going to be over. But at the end of the challenge, you will be protected against the change of the euro against the dollar. Where the smart side relies. The smart side of the hedging situation is to leverage on this risk, taking the upside and hedging against the downside. So maybe if you think that the dollar might be increasing against the euro, you might want to cover only for 8 million instead of 10, and losing the 2 remaining millions in order to allow you some movements that are going to allow you to get a smart gain on the euro-dollar change and limit your downside in case the dollar is moving against your expectation. I hope to make it clear
I hope so. I think so. Anyhow, again, we are collecting questions. And so if you want to have a further explanation about that, you can simply mention the Reply Titanium team on challenges.reply.com on the gaming platform, or send us an email on challenges@reply.com. We'll do our best to answer you all. I want to, slightly before moving to Matteo, we have some other questions. We already repeated it, but I want to repeat. Mattia is saying, how the hell is possible that the first in the challenge has gained $8 million right now? We want to repeat this, guys. Right? We have investigated. Of course, we have been surprised as you at the beginning of this morning. I mean, the outcome of our investigation is that the user we are talking about has leverage on a particular backdoor present on the BG Saxo platform that again is a demo platform used for a simulation. So for another purpose, it's not natively a challenge platform. We are leveraging on that tool. This kind of backdoor has enabled him to reset his budget. And we are right now proceeding in confirming the ban or in resetting his budget. Anyhow, we have not already made a decision about that. But what we can say that all the players will be monitored in their behaviors, even with the less amount of money. Even if you're doing any kind of other particular behavior, watch out. You could possibly been banned from the challenge. You will not be able to play, and that's, of course, it's not good for you. So please follow the rules, play with us, following the inputs, do your best to follow the challenge mechanism in order to show your talent as a passionate in finance, and have fun together. We are constantly monitoring what's happened, so don't be anyhow afraid. At the end, the challenge will be a fair competition, and we'll do our best to have fun together with all of you, with so many players connecting with us. Time to move to the collaboration we have with the Starting Finance, a community that I would like to present thanks to the presence of Matteo Fatale connecting with us. Hello, Matteo.
Hello, Enrico. Well, sorry for looking like a ghost.
No worries at all. I mean, that's fair. That's fine. If you want to remove the virtual background, it's fine for us as well. I would like to thank you for being with us for this first progress webinar we'll have. You will be together with us even in the future, right?
Yeah.
All right. Would you like to say something about Starting Finance community, first of all?
Starting Finance community is just a community made by students for students, with a purpose to make the people understand what is the economy, what is the role of the economics in the real world. This is our purpose. This is the aim. So we are organizing meetings. We are organizing events where all the students are allowed to participate. That's
great. And of course, we can share the Starting Finance main website and link and community in order to give a spotlight, of course, to you too. Thanks for your help. But you have a precise duty together with us today, because it's 2 minutes to 5:30, and we may be in time in order to give some information about the market for today, right?
Right. I can share the screen.
Yep.
Well, I would like to start with the main German index, the DAX. As we can see here, after this big drop seen in these last weeks, given this coronavirus, we can see a little recovery here in these last days. And also seeing the main British index, the FTSE 100. Sorry, FTSE 100. We can see. Yeah, I can't see.
No worries. We are live, so we may have experienced some kind of issue. Here it is.
This is the main index in Great Britain. We can see the perfect correlation with the DAX, given these exogenous shocks. So, also looking at the main Italian index, we also have the same chart. So after a big drop, you can see a little recovery with a decreasing volatility. Then crossing the ocean, looking at the S&P 500, what we can see? We can see more or less the same graph, just looking more volatility in the days, but we have the same recovery, we have the same lower volatility in relationship with the past days. And then looking more specifically in the stocks, for example, the Apple stocks, what we can see after a big growth seen in these last years, we can look at this decreasing of the futures dividend growth given this coronavirus. It's obvious that the stop of the production is impacting in a big proportion in these quotations. Then changing.
We are experiencing a very particular situation. Am I right? I mean, the game, even if we, of course, will be more than happy if we weren't in this kind of emergency. But anyhow, the timing of this investment challenge is actually part of the challenge as itself.
But if I can say, this is a great opportunity of earnings, and on the other hand, this is a great opportunity of lose money. So, looking at the commodities, for example, gold, after this big growth in this last month, and after a big drop, we recovered all the past prices, but then we have here a resistance point. Personally, here there is an opportunity of a short, but we could not be sure because given the negative correlation between indices and the commodities. So I could go short, but I'm not sure 100%. Then looking at the oil, that is the other commodity. Sorry, it's not.
Yep.
Okay. What we can see here, in the last weeks, we had a starting point of 75 for each barrel, and now we have a 26. We have the minimum of years, and the question here is convenient to extract oil in this moment? What are OPEC intentions? So, if you can expect the answer of these questions, you could have a great opportunity of earnings. Then, looking about the forex, so the foreign exchange, looking about the cross euro dollar, what we can see at the daily graph, we can see a big volatility after great shorts in the past years. Yes, now we have a great volatility given the movements of the European Central Bank and the Federal Reserve. So in this moment we cannot say if there is opportunity of short or long. It's a great moment if you maybe breaking this point, this resistance point, we can understand a growth until 1.14. But also in this moment, given this exogenous shock, I'm not a wizard. This is the only answer that I can have. Then,
you don't have the crystal ball, as they say.
Well, looking at the cable, euro pound. No, sorry, made a mistake. Okay. Here we have the same situation. We have a great volatility after a great increase of this cross. Now we have a decrease, but also here we don't have, we cannot have we cannot have main points to base our our graph. So it all depends in the ability of predict the movements of the central banks. Then, looking at the other currencies, for example, euro, Japanese yen, what we can see here, we have a great reduction in volatility in this last year, these last days. It's everything given by the Bank of Japan, who is literally printing money more than the European Central Bank, and also watching euro, where is New Zealand dollar. After a big increase of volatility, also we have here a perfect correlation with the previous crosses. Well, that's all. If you have any kind of question.
Yeah, I think that, thank you, first of all, Matteo. People are reacting on the YouTube chat, of course. They have, they are sharing many questions. I guess we have one from Davide, right?
Yes, Matteo, my question is, I see that you talk about a possible recovery maybe in the next days, but with oil prices so low, and your question if it's convenient or not to drill in these times, there is not a geopolitical risk coming in front of us that we have to consider in the next few days, or you think the situation is getting smoother and smoother? Thank you.
Sorry, are you talking about stocks, or what are you talking about?
Stocks.
Okay.
Yes.
Oof. Personally, I consider this. I'm sharing the. Wait, stop sharing.
Yes, yes, you are still sharing.
I consider this actual prices too high in relation with the actual situation. The production is stopped and will be stopped for the next weeks. So I repeat, I'm not a wizard, but I consider that this little recovery in these last days too honest, too optimistic.
Okay, thank you very much, Matteo, for sharing with us your inputs. I would say may we say something regarding? I use the same word. It's wrong, but the input, the challenge inputs. We have already answered to one of the most frequent questions we have. So the sense in general of the inputs in this game. Eleonora or Paolo, would you want to say something regarding the specific inputs that the challengers have faced during these first two days of challenge? So the first 48 hours that we had, they had shared some question regarding input number 3, if I'm right. Is there anything you want to point out regarding those the inputs shared?
Okay. About input number 3, if I'm not mistaken, it's relating to a cash payment to a supplier. So nothing different to what we have seen before with the other example. Probably the other question I've seen related to the different inputs was related to how long a position has to be held in the portfolio, especially when dealing with free cash available cash available in the portfolio. Because a lot of guys asked how can I know how long to keep my position open? Okay, the general understanding of that input is you don't have to, let's say, keep the position open for a predetermined amount of time. The general idea is always try, again, in the spirit that I mentioned earlier, is always try to get some profit for your job. So you have available cash, you're not using that cash for hedging other positions. So it's not tied up in margins, for example, use that cash to gain a small profit from trading, for example. So from 10%, 10% or 20%, 10% in stocks or 20% in bonds, for example, can be used to do some trading in order to gain some advantage instead of leaving the liquidity in the cash account, is going to provide you an opportunity. So not obliged to keep 10% invested in predetermined stock or bond, but just try to use the opportunity to do that. I would say that it's going to be more a hint more than an input, a mandatory input. It is a suggestion, let's say like that. So you don't have to leave it there for days and days or a predefined amount of time. Use that cash. That's the point.
All right, thank you very much. I have a couple of questions related to the same topic that are pretty much kind of this. What if I want to start to play? I have registered, of course, but what if I want to start playing on, let me say, Friday? What I have to do with the inputs shared in the previous days? Do you have to take care of them, or do I have to start with the ones shared on Friday and so on?
My suggestion, I mean, we didn't actually, and be very honest, crystal clear, we didn't think to people that might have started during the run. However, my suggestion would be to consider that inputs, because your final position otherwise might have a loss due to the fact that you're not considering the fact that you might have done something. So
okay.
I hope it was clear enough. However, don't leave them behind you, because it might affect you negatively.
Of course. Don't ignore them, even if we hope that everybody following us right now, we have more than 150 people watching the live streaming here on YouTube. Of course, thousands of players right now playing with us on BG Saxo and on challenges.reply.com. What we can say is that we hope that you started since the beginning and you are not joining us on the run, I would say. Anyhow, good to have you on board. Of course, it's a live webinar. This one, 41 minutes right after 5 o'clock p.m. Central European Solar Time. This is our first webinar of the investment challenge related to the progress of our game. Thank you everybody for joining us. We'll have some more during the next days, so please stay tuned with us. Reply You channel on Facebook and on the other social media platforms in order to get in touch with us. You can share anytime, 24/7, your questions related to the investment challenge leveraging on the challenges.reply.com platform. You have just to mention the Reply Titanium team in order to share your question, and we'll answer as fast as we can. There is a Telegram channel that you can use in order to get in touch with us and with all the other players actually that are participating in the same Telegram channel. I kindly ask to the Reply Challenges team to share the link to the Telegram channel on the YouTube chat right now. As you see, we are on so many platforms that you cannot miss us, and we are trying to get in touch with all of them. Of course, it's a bit hard, but we'll do our best to do it. Okay, anything to say, guys? We can scroll the list of questions we have and try to answer, if you agree. I hope so, of course. Okay, we have questions appearing. I will try to select for you the ones that might be more interesting. We have another one related to the input, what we have possibly already answered. Martina is asking, how is it possible to reduce the loss related to the bonds? It's a silly question or something that we can answer?
Not silly. It's I mean, here again, the crystal ball.
Invest differently. That might be the real answer out of it. I'm selecting another question that might be interesting for all of you. Okay, sorry for this time, but of course we are live, so it's hard to see all of them. do we want to see something in the meanwhile? I'm selecting a question. We have received so many regarding the scalping procedure, scalping technique. I don't know if Paolo, you want to go to say something about that.
Probably Edoardo or Davide are more entitled to answer that.
Fine.
I don't know.
Yeah, Edoardo, would you like to? Yeah,
the connection is not very well.
Of course, sorry. We were saying we received so many questions or comments related to the scalping possibility, let me say, the scalping thing that somehow it's allowed on the platform. But actually, it's different, right?
Oh, well, it's not, because it's possible to do scalping on the platform, on our platform. Well, not really in the demo account. In the real one, it's possible. In the demo one, it's not really, can I say, it's not really easy to do scalping as well.
What?
Okay, yes, please, Davide.
What we have received, we received a lot of questions about, but doing scalping with our demo, since there is the 15 minutes lag, you can get free money, we can say. Is not this the case? Because you can try to do scalping on the platform. It's going to count towards the 30 operation you have to complete in order to not get penalized. But at the same time, you have to remember that the prices are settled with the 15 minutes delay. But if you try to sell now, to buy now, the prices that you see now, knowing already what the prices will be in 15 minutes, because maybe you have a real-time other platform or something, you're not going to get the price of 15 minutes ago, but the real-time prices. So there is no such thing like a free meal, even on this platform.
Okay, I hope we answered. I'd like to point out that anyhow, we are producing a kind of additional list of frequently asked questions, I mean, with their answers, of course, in order to better point out the mechanism of the game that are we, of course, realizing even right now during the development of the challenge. We have some questions appearing right now on the YouTube chat for the latest 14 minutes we have for this live webinar. A question from Pietro that is asking, now it makes no sense to follow the floating rate bonds input, but it does to follow all the others with happening date in April. Is it right? That's the question from Pietro. Who wants to answer?
I can say that the input that you're mentioning, I think the second, was more related to suggest to invest part of your liquidity in bonds and in equities, and you basically you can choose what kind of bond you can invest in. Even because, as I said before, we don't detect, we don't monitor your action to any event. So of course we would like that you follow the inputs, because otherwise you will not, you can't access to the final and to the prices. But I think that is kindly up to you to decide when you want to follow the inputs and which kind of bond exactly you think that you can invest in. And as I said before, you can even choose to not react to an input. This is not like a wrong behavior. I can say shortly that try to follow the input, but not every single word.
All right. I would say, even if I'm not a professional trader, that it's part again of the role-playing game in which you have to behave in a reality that it's not, of course, with defined boundaries, and you have to do your best in order to perform. Anyhow, we want to stress this part of the game. The situation, the conditions are the same for all the players. Okay, so it's like in the reality, guys. The best will win, of course, if you do your best to perform.
Sorry, Enrico,
please.
Just to point out one more thing about that, because I hope we will get clear enough. As Eleonora mentioned in the beginning, the penalties, and she stressed again right now, but I want to be 100% sure everything is crystal clear to the players. The penalties are applied at the end of the challenge, not because we do not want to give everyone the let's say real-time situation, but because this is a kind of role play, as you mentioned that, and probably that's the best description. So sometimes you might decide not to follow a specific input because you think that you might be better off by not following it. As I said in the beginning, so it's a smart hedging what we are focusing on. So that's the reason why we are saying you're not going to be judged if you performed 100% of the trades required by the specific inputs. You might also follow 90% or 110% of these inputs. So there's a judgmental component that is what makes finance something not predetermined.
Okay, thank you very much, Paolo, for pointing out. We have minutes to answer to some of the questions appearing right now in the YouTube chat. Nicolo is asking, can we hedge the inputs buying a spot at the same time, for example? Is it clear, or does it require any kind of further explanation? Can we hedge the inputs buying spot at the same time?
Sorry, but for me it is not a clear question. At the same time of what?
I don't know. We can ask Nicolo Melacarne to better express the question he posted on YouTube in order to give you a proper answer.
You can basically buy spot, but spot is spot. So you have to fix the exchange in the future. So we suggest to use a kind of different instrument. So a future or CFD or option, because they are long-term instruments. Spot is an instrument that is used right now and it ends basically. So we suggest to use different kind of instruments.
Okay. I have another question. In the meanwhile, Nicolo could be better express his question. Carol is asking, that might be interesting. Maybe even Matteo can answer together with us. What instruments would you recommend if I want to go as YOLO as possible? I guess YOLO is you only live life once, right? So actually, is asking which instrument would you recommend if I want to go as YOLO as possible, but within the rules of the competition? Paolo or Matteo, do you have suggestions?
If I can answer, obviously the options. Just paying a little price, you can both hedge your position and try to obtain a great earning.
Okay, and is it fine for the competition rules, Paolo?
Not in my understanding. I mean, I could call it gambling. And
okay.
If I were the stakeholder of that company where you're the treasurer, I would not be very, very satisfied about your operations.
Okay, so we can leverage on this question, and thanks Carol for pointing it out, of course, but because you give us the chance to repeat it. Even if you are free to do any kind of move on BG Saxo platform, by following the inputs you have been shared and playing in the role game we are proposing you, you will effectively play with us in this competition. And again, at the end of the competition, after this online round, and the second one we'll have on April the 24th, you will be the one who has to prove his own behavior, his own way of gaming in a dedicated write-up document that we will ask you. It will be required in order to get your prize. So since the beginning, since those first days of the competition, please play fair and follow the inputs, because they will be the only and the best way, by the way, to get your prize at the end. If you will do any kind of other movement, any kind of gambling, any other kind of way of playing, we are constantly monitoring, and at the end, you will not be the winner. So if you want to have fun, follow the inputs.
Obviously,
Matteo.
my field is an absence of gambling, so This is all.
No, I guess it. But thank you very much for answering, because you provided the right answer. And anyhow, as Eduardo can confirm, on the BG Saxo platform, users are allowed to do it. So somehow that's part of the game as well. What Paolo wants to stress, and we all, of course, agree, is that by following the rules and the inputs, you will be you will be part of the game together with the rest of us, and of course you will be verified. All right, so if you want to play in a fair way, follow the inputs, and that's the sense of the competition above all. Last minutes, actually, guys. I see some questions related. I want to subscribe right now. We are sorry, man. Gabriel, actually the registration phase has been closed, so you're not able to join us, but follow challenges.reply.com, subscribe to our platform in order to get in touch for following challenges. Many other surprises are coming, so even if it's not your turn this time, you will be able to play with us in the near future for sure. I have okay, Nicolo, try to better express the question, so I want to repeat it and read it together with you. The input says that we will sell silver in the future, and I want to follow the input, but I don't want exposure in that position. So can I buy silver at the same time? Would that count as following the input? I don't know if it's clear for your point of view.
I try to, let's say, understand. Probably I got the point. If you're going to buy silver today, you're for sure you're protecting your position because you already have the silver in hands. The point is that if you're doing that, if you're meaning buying spot, the point is that you have the silver and you don't have the cash to hedge against other events. So the idea or having, I saw other questions related to that. The idea or having future events to be protected during the competition is that you're not called to cash actually out in order to deliver. So you don't have to pay today dollars to pay your supplier. You don't have to pay today New Zealand dollar to pay for your supplier or your commodity. You just need to hedge against that risk. So the reason why we are not suggesting, but I mean, if you want to, I'm not saying you don't have to, but if you want to buy a spot, the dollars or the pounds or whatever you want, is that you're giving up cash that might be useful for future needs and for future purposes. I hope this answers.
I think so. We can try to answer as many questions as we can. Of course, the Reply Challenges team is there to answer directly on the chat. We already shared the Telegram link in order to get in touch together with us. And as always, please follow. I mean, the channel. The challenges.reply.com platform. Sorry, in order to get in touch with the Reply Titanium team and share the questions you want. Some players are asking why we don't use Italian to ask. There is one single reason why, that the competition is online and open worldwide. We have 8,500 players worldwide, with many people not only from Italy, of course, many from Italy, but not only. So that's why we are talking in English right now in the webinar. And in general, we are talking in English in all the channels you have found. Anyhow, if you want to ask questions in Italian, we can understand and of course answer, but better if you want to have fun together with our mates around the world, use English, and it's even a good way to learn and get in touch with all of them. Since we mentioned the learning platform, Davide, I would like to repeat that there is a learning opportunity above all by participating in the challenge, but there is a dedicated learning repository and materials available on challenges.reply.com, right?
Yeah, my suggestion as a fellow student is for all the people competing in this challenge is to learn the more you can. The girls that said before, how can I go YOLO on the competition? For me, you can go YOLO on the competition on the learning materials. Study everything like no tomorrow, because
that's a very good answer.
because it's unfair to say so, but even part of the competition, only a few people are going to win. But the knowledge that we can spread, I think it's much more valuable, maybe not of a computer, but much more valuable on the long run.
All right, we thank you, Davide, for pointing out. We have a last question, I would say. Maybe we already mentioned, but again, wise to repeat. Do we need to keep the input orders until the end of the challenge? That's another frequently asked question.
I can answer. It depends on your time horizon. Sorry. Depend on your strategy. There is not a unique answer here. If you consider that the price reached the target, you can close the position. If you think that you can earn more and more, so keep the position open. It's not a unique answer, as I told before.
Okay, Paolo, Eleonora, anything to add?
Nothing specific. Follow the inputs, follow the markets, be patient if you will see some slowdowns due to the current situation we are facing, everybody in just everyday work.
Yeah,
have fun.
That's smart working life. Thank you. Have fun. Of course, that's the wisest suggestion we can make. Again, we will publish a list of the most frequent asked question we had, together with the answers, of course. If you have any further doubt, of course, share the question with us. Telegram channel already shared. ReplyU Facebook page. Challenges.reply.com. Mention the Titanium team. Right now, you can hear my son crying, and that's part of the smart working life. I'm sorry about that. I'm not so sorry, because actually we end our time today. So I would like to deeply thank all the people involved in this second webinar. So thank you very much, starting from Matteo Fatale, starting finance. Thank you very much, Matteo, for being with us.
Thank you, Enrico. Be sure to be here with you.
All right, we'll get in touch in a couple of days and proceed this adventure together.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Davide, of course, from the Reply Challenges team, Eleonora and Paolo from the Reply Titanium team. Thank you very much. Eduardo, you're still with us?
Yes, I am with you, but I'm sorry because I have some issues with the connection. So
no problem.
Just as a cost.
Yeah, we mentioned that. Thank you very much, Eduardo from BG Saxo platform. Stay tuned. Another meeting, the following webinar will be on Thursday, the 2nd of April. And keep playing with us on the Reply Investment Challenge. Thank you very much, you all. That's all. See you. Goodbye. Ciao.
Ciao.